Today I want to reiterate a couple of very important things. First of all, the fact that you are far more reactive than you realize. You do not realize how reactive you are, nor do you realize what it means. What it means is that you're completely turned around. The human being was created by our Creator in His image and likeness. And we were created for Him, actually. Augustine said it so well. He said, "You made us for yourself, O Lord, and our hearts are restless till they find rest in you." And so, if you are not finding rest in your Creator, if everything you think doesn't return to Him, if everything doesn't remind you of Him, even the wrong things that you see, when people mess up, when people are cruel or mean or phony or false or vicious or deceitful, when you see that, it just makes you want to cling all the more to what is good and what is true and to your Creator. And when you see the stars and the sky, the flowers, the trees, it reminds you of the Creator of them. Now, and when you see another human being, you understand that you are seeing a creature created in the image and likeness of God. Now, maybe they're not doing so good. Maybe they don't look so good. Maybe they're all messed up, just like you. Nevertheless, you mustn't hate them. Because when you hate another human being, in a sense, it does two things. Number one, it's not good. And secondly, you also harm yourself. Do you understand why you harm yourself? I'll give you an example. Let's suppose that somebody didn't breathe. They tried not to breathe. They would be harming themselves. Let's suppose that someone refused to eat. They would be harming themselves. Do you see? When you hate another person, you're actually denying your own origin. You're denying that you too are a creature from God, meant to express God's will. And so, what you're doing is denying your own nature, harming your own nature, harming yourself. You see? So, getting back to reacting again, what I began to talk about, how reactive you are. Ran into a lady this morning at Starbucks. She has a persistent cough. She had it 4 months ago. She had it 5 months ago, 6 months ago. So finally I said, "What's the matter with you?" And she said, "Well, it's allergies." I said, "Allergies for a cough?" She says, "Oh yes," she said, everything drains and then I cough it up. I said, "I don't know." So she said, "Oh yes, I've got the best doctors and I take allergy shots all the time and they're getting to the bottom." And I said, "You know what I think? I think that it has some sort of an emotional, that emotions contribute to it." And she didn't seem to understand that. But she's very reactive. A little pollen. The pollen is a perfectly harmless little thing, isn't it, from a flower? The bees, well, they love pollen, don't they? They touch the pollen when they go to get their nectar. And plants grow from that pollen, you see. It's a beautiful thing, that pollen, if you get honey that has pollen in it. A lot of honeys have had it removed. Did you know that? There are reasons why they do that. I won't go into it now, but if you get honey that has pollen in it, it's very nutritious. But she reacts to the pollen, the most harmless little thing in the whole world. Now, why would she react to it? Well, it wouldn't surprise me if there was an emotional moment when she was a little child. That was the very beginning of the first time. Because pollen was in the scene. It was in the scene of the emotional trauma, you see. And now it's perpetuated by what? People around her who are like that original person who undoubtedly initiated the trauma scene, her mom perhaps, yelling at her or screaming at her, or her mom accusing her, or threatening to leave her, or rejecting her or something. And then her mom became an oppressive presence, one to conform to, and one to want to please, one who had withdrawn her love, and so the little child wants to please. Now, undoubtedly, this lady surrounds herself with other people like her mother, if her mother was was in the scene of the original trauma. Other people like her mother. See? Employers. A husband like her mother. See? Her mother herself. People that she wants to please. But who deep down she resents. Why? Because they take away her freedom. They're the ones that started the whole thing. It caused her to deny. See, here's another thing. If you have a little child and you don't allow the child to express itself, then you're forcing the child to deny its own self, its own nature. If the child tells the truth, why is Aunt so mean? Mommy, when you're gone, you leave me with Aunt. She's mean to me. And the parent often will become angry and say, don't say that about your aunt. Don't you ever say that again. Say something like that. The child is being forced to deny the truth. But we humans are meant to what? To express truth. So I could go into a lot of details, but I won't. I want to draw two books to your attention, one mine and one from somebody else. Over the years, over the past 30 years, I keep going back over and over and over again to Dr. Hans Selye, S-E-L-Y-E, Dr. Hans Selye, the father of stress. He came up with the idea. He understood, he studied it, and he discovered the general adaptive syndrome. He discovered it. He discovered the depletion, the shrinkage of the thymus and lymph glands, and at the same time the enlargement of the adrenal glands and the increase in adrenal flow. And the third part was ulcers, gastrointestinal ulcers. He also discovered the three parts, the alarm stage, the adaptation stage, and then exhaustion. It's very good. Over and over again, I go back to Dr. Hans Selye. This is probably the best book. If you're going to get one of his books, get this one, The Stress of Life. This book I've had a long time. It's falling apart. The Stress of Life. You can easily get it at your library. I just want you to see what's involved, and then you can look at yourself and see that you are stressed. And then ask yourself why. It usually involves people, doesn't it? Or it's transferred to other things, but it begins with people. So why? It's because you're not reacting to them properly. You shouldn't be reacting to them at all. Then the other book I wanted to draw to your attention is my book. It's called A Brief Introduction to Stress Management, Principles and Practices. Principles and Practice. Brief Introduction to Stress Management. It's very good. It's only about 60 pages. It's just very good. A nice introduction. You could get this and my little meditation. The meditation teaches you how to become still, how to become quiet, and separate from your thoughts. See, the link now between the stressor, the initial stressor, and other stressors now to which your reactions are transferred. The link is your emotions, your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind. Your imagination, your emotions, your subconscious mind. That's the link. So you have to learn how to mentally take a mental step back, in other words, from your thoughts, from imagination. Take a mental step back and then just observe it. It's very important. Then you're no longer subject to it. You detach from. See, now what happens is you go out in the world, somebody upsets you, or something upsets you. Then you become upset, stress. And then you retreat and hide in the imagination, thinking about the past and worrying about the future and planning and scheming, and you hide there with the help of your iPhone and music and marijuana and whatever else you use. You have to learn how to separate from it and observe it. I'm not saying to blank thought or to get rid of it. I'm saying just to observe it. And you certainly don't want to delve deeper into the imagination. That's what so many meditative techniques that are not really helpful will have you to do. They tell you to visualize and to imagine, you're on a lake, a calm lake, and there's beautiful trees and the wind, and they tell you all that stuff. Well, the problem with that is it's just more of the same thing that's causing your problem right now. So you don't want to be hiding. You don't want to be escaping. You want to just stand back. It's so simple. Then you have to. Then you can go out in life with that kind of a little bit of detachment. Christ called it the heavenly state, where you're a little bit closer to your Creator, to His light from within, and just a little distant to things on the outside. You're still friendly with people and do things and work and have recreation and everything, but just not so close, not so emotional. Okay? And so therefore, you can begin to now carry that heavenly state of having taken a mental step back and carry it out in life. When a situation arises, maybe with someone where before you would have become angry, now you take a mental step back. You already have taken one. When you enter the situation, you already have that mental step back. See? So when someone tries to pull you into an argument or pull you into something, you see it, and then you just don't get pulled in. You see? And so now instead of getting in an argument, you have a little sense of humor. And you don't get in the argument. And you're better off, and they're better off. And it's good for everyone. See? Now reason can come to bear. And wisdom. So you should get my meditation. You really should. And these books that I mentioned could be very helpful. I'm writing a new book. I've got like 200 and some pages already. I hope to have it ready very soon for you. And I'm making my radio program, which is quite good. You should be listening to my radio program. I make a new one every week on a topic. It's very nice, the radio program. I redid the free meditation, and I also redid my 4-part meditation. It's just exquisitely beautiful. You should get it. Okay? And so I haven't been making a lot of YouTube videos lately. I've been real busy. I've been working. Every day I've been working 7 days a week. And haven't had time. Plus it's been winter and my lighting in my room is not so good. Even today it's gray outside, but it's a little better. The lighting is, you know, satisfactory because it's springtime now, but it's still not so good. It's best when there's bright sunshine. So I haven't been making YouTube videos, but I've been putting up my radio program. I've also been putting my program on YouTube occasionally in a version with the commercials taken out. So you just get all content, no commercials, which is nice. Okay? And I've been putting it up on Blog Talk Radio. I opened my paid account at Blog Talk Radio so I can put up my radio program there on Blog Talk Radio. So, hope you enjoyed this little video. Go ahead and get these books and my meditation.